Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dog Football channel. Welcome to a brand new mini series that is coming on the channel. A chat with ... This is going to be a series where I'm going to basically invite a Premier League fan on and talk about their upcoming seasons. And my guest this evening is a very lovely man. It is Daniel Moorhouse from the Turf Moorhouse TV, and he's going to talk to me all about all things Burnley. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm all right, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. I imagine you are over the heartache of Euros and are looking forward to the new season starting.
Yeah, 30 days away. Can't wait to get kick on now.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I absolutely agree with you, and I am very much looking forward. So, first things off, just a very quick question. Obviously, you finished 17th last season, bottom of the rest. You will be hoping to improve for this season coming. What are your first thoughts coming into this season?
It's a big overhaul needed at Burnley this year. Obviously, back end of December last season, we had a change of ownership. So we've had American owners come in. They've said that we're going to back Dash. We're going to get behind the team. I'm not just going to be sort of sitting in America. I'm actually going to be hands-on, move to the area, and really like dig his nails in and get going. Obviously, this summer is something that we wanted to see because we didn't do much in January. So
Mm,
we sort of need to do something now. We've got
yeah.
we've got funds behind us. Dash is what he wanted. He wanted backing. He wanted us to stretch the finances a lot. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. We've got one through the door in terms of transfers, but nobody really does a lot of early transfer business. I think you're the same with
Yeah.
Canate, aren't you? I think that's only
Yeah.
one really that's come through. So hopefully we'll see a nice little flurry as the days go by.
Yeah, just on Dyche, are you relieved that he's actually not been prized away by, a Crystal Palace and Everton? Because there was a lot of talk about Dyche potentially going to Crystal Palace, but managed to fend off because obviously Palace have appointed Vieira, Everton have appointed, Benitez. So I think it's a bit of relief for Burnley fans that Dyche has remained, isn't it?
Massively. I mean, speak of calling people Mr. Burnley, he's definitely got to be up there as one of the contenders for it. He's everything that the club epitomises. He's not going to get that chance at somewhere like Palace or Everton to actually be the commander in chief. He's just going to be somebody that goes to the training ground, does what he needs to do, goes there on a match day. I think Dash is probably part of a dying breed and is similar to what we had under Stan Turner a good couple of years back.
Mm,
The likes of a man that just runs the club from top to bottom, that will literally tell his staff, "Oh no, I need such and such in on that day, get it done, do this, do that." And I'm not saying that he's a disciplinarian, but what he is a man that he commands respect. He is sort of the owner of that club.
yeah.
As much as there is owners, he's not going to get that sort of freedom. We didn't have this multi-million-pound training facility we have down at Gawthorpe if it wasn't for Dash. He came in and said, "Well, we need to do this and do that," and lo and behold,
Yeah.
we did, and we've sort of grown under him. So, in terms of going back to also the first question but bringing Dash into that, Dash signing a new contract is going to be probably one of the best signings of this season.
Absolutely, yeah. I think without Sean Dyche, I think you struggle. But yeah, to keep him is fantastic. So let's talk about obviously transfers in and out of Burnley because we've obviously you've made one signing in Nathan Collins for 12 million from Stoke. You happy to get him in?
Yeah, he's a good young up and coming defender. It just bothers me when we say we've signed somebody from Stoke because we're so used to it now. We're so used to. I think we're one stamp off a full loyalty card for another free Stoke player or something. It's ridiculous. We brought Bardsley in from Stoke, Eric Peters, Peter Crouch. We brought them
Mm,
in, and these are players that were at Stoke in the Championship.
Yeah.
A team that were relegated, and Eric Peters was talked about by Stoke fans as he's not fit enough to lace flaming somebody in League Two's boots. And he's come in and he's number 2 to Charlie Taylor. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? So, yeah, us and Stoke seems to be a bit of a conveyor belt. So, luckily, Nathan Collins should be the last of Stoke. That should be the last one we get. But we have been praying for him for a long time, to be fair. I mean, all the last season, they were taught we wanted him. Stoke kept saying, no, we want this much and that much. But now we've got that financial backing, we can say, right, okay then, how much was it again? And luckily he's through the door nice and early.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one who I'm not even going to pronounce the second name, but it's Jacob Bidu from I think it's Scunthorpe that was on a free transfer. So I think that's probably one for the academy. So talking about outs, Ben Gibson. I'm going to be honest. I did not get the Ben Gibson signing. I did not get it when you signed him. I thought it was a signing of. I didn't think he would get game time because obviously you've got Ben Mee, you've got James Tarkowski, Kevin Long as well. So that signing did not make sense. Are you sad to see Ben Gibson go?
No. Not really. Not really. I think as well when you sort of slander the club, it also the fan base go against you. We saw it with when we had Patrick Bamford on loan before as well. He were saying that he was being judged on the fact that he'd had a privileged background and he wasn't getting game time because of that. And we're just thinking, no, you're talking a lot of rubbish, mate. The reason why was because it was you had people like Chris Wood or the players at the time anyway were keeping him out. The likes of Ashley Barnes and stuff. They were keeping him out of the side, and he weren't going to get game time. But don't get me wrong, he's done well at other clubs. But apparently there was rumours that he were crying in his car, so we all call him Cry Arse and Cry Baby when he comes to Turf. But as you do as fans, you banter with them all. But the Ben Gibson one, it again, same as you said, a strange one. He's a player that you come in to start. It was only 2 seasons before we brought him in that Chelsea were linked with him because he had a really good season and things like that. There were a lot of big clubs sniffing around for him. It didn't quite work out. We were his first move away from a club that he loved in Borough. Obviously, he's come to us. It didn't work out at all. He said that he never got on with Dash. He wanted out from the first day he signed the dotted line pretty much. So, it's strange because 1 or 2 players can say that, but yet every other player that's walked through the door has said they'd run through bricks for Sean Dyche. So, yeah, it's sort of, has he come in with an ego and Dyche has gone, well, you better sort that out, otherwise game time's a no-go, mate. I don't know, but to get him off our back instead of actually loaning him out and sort of letting him have these little bits and spells here and there, finally letting him go to Norwich, getting that permanent move. I hope he does well. Fair play to him. I've got no qualms about it. But getting him off the books, the money will be more beneficial to us than having Ben Gibson just sat there, not getting game time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we definitely wish Ben Gibson well, and I think he'll do a good job at Norwich City. Also out, Robbie Brady. You sad to see him go?
Again, not really. No, I mean he's been decent for us. He came in and he hit the ground running. Scored a free kick against Chelsea on his debut. We drew that game 1-1. It was brilliant, but he's just been plagued with injuries. Literally, I mean, we talk about Harry Kane having glass ankles, but if he's literally got, Robbie Brady's got glass ankles, but the glass is shattered constantly. It's like when you drop your phone and little bits of glass is just flaking off.
Oh no!
He's become that sort of player. I mean, you're not going to kick Dwight McNeil out the side on the left anyway, but we have had a lot of injuries to our wingers. Goodmanson was injured, Brady was injured. We've had to play a centre mid on right wing. We've had to drop strikers onto the right or put Dwight McNeil on the right to facilitate Brady when he's coming. But he's coming for like 20 minutes and then he's gone off.
Yeah,
it's one of those. And the fact that we got rid of him and released him early, to me, sounds positive that we are confident of finding a replacement.
Absolutely. And the other one that you've sold is Jimmy Dunn to QPR. I'll be honest. I saw Jimmy Dunn when he was at Hearts and in Scotland. I thought he had a good wee loan spell there. Obviously in difficult circumstances because obviously Hearts went down the time he was there. So yeah, I think you've done well. One name that is not in the outs yet, but could be, is Mr. Tarkowski. Do you expect him to move on in the summer?
This, as much as we said, this 30 days until the season starts. Obviously, the transfer window is a little bit longer than that. You know, if he hits the ground running at the start of this season, there's going to be teams sniffing around, especially now with the bigger clubs. You know, on the foreign contingents they've got in, they need a certain amount, don't they, of English players behind them to sort of in the 25-man squad. So, you know, he's not a bad bar really for anybody. I can't blame him. He is brilliant. He could go on to better things, but I think anybody that's been at the side of Ben Mee, to be honest, has turned into an absolutely shit hot defender, basically. So yeah, it's. Well, can I say that we'll keep him? Me personally, I don't think we will. I think Nathan Collins coming in is just one defender, but I think we'll be looking at somebody else. I mean, we've already heard the rumours about Nat Phillips and things like that.
Yeah.
But is that only going to happen if Tarky goes, or do we bring somebody else in before Tarky goes? It's a strange one. I mean, if he doesn't leave now, he leaves on a free next year. So
yeah,
a lot of clubs may even be looking at that and think, "Nah, let him have a year. Let him have a year. If he's not going to agree a deal, and we know that he's already going to go, then fair enough."
If you did cash in on him, how much do you think you'd get from?
Being in the last year of his contract, and after going and looking back on the season we've just had, I mean, he is pivotal, though. He is one of our players that's. The thing is, I look at Burnley and I think if one key player is out, you've got, whether it's Dwight McNeil, whether it's Tarkowski, whether it's Nick Pope behind the back four, that the jigsaw puzzle, it's not worth what it looks at. You can look at the design on the box, but if you look down at the puzzle and realise there's one piece missing, it doesn't look right, and it doesn't work. So losing someone like him is massive. I'm going to be my head says, oh, he's a £40 million player without a shadow of a doubt. But last year of his contract and the season we just had recently, I'd say 18 to 20 million probably, yeah.
That's fair enough. And as far as the other players are in the squad, do you expect any more outs potentially?
I'm gonna call a big one here. I think there is scope for Ashley Barnes to maybe go.
Ooh.
It's a strange one. It is a strange one because he's sort of everybody's, the man that you love to hate. Basically, you'd rather have him in your squad than against your squad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether Dyche can work with him again this year and sort everything out. But towards the back end of the season, he had his demons, he drink driving and things like that. And, there is a lot of top-class players that have even gone through it. But then it gives you, from a fan perspective, you think, was it because him and Chris Wood wasn't working out last season and he wasn't hitting the form that he's shown over the years? Does he start to think, crap, my age is catching up with me, I'm not performing, maybe I'm going downhill, mental health, everything could affect it. But yeah, I don't know, a big call from myself. But yeah, Ashley Barnes, I could see being at least one striker that's probably out the door.
Very interesting. Yeah, I like, obviously Chris Wood was the man to look at last season for your goals. The goals did dry up for Ashley Barnes, but yeah, he did score at Anfield, which is not something you'd like to see, obviously, in my perspective, but obviously your perspective. So let's go into your first 6 games of the season. So you start with Brighton at home, which I think is a very good one to open. Then you go to Anfield. I have to say, I'm glad we're getting you guys out of the way at Anfield. I think there's a score to settle there. You've got Leeds United at home. You've got Everton away. You've got Arsenal at home, and then you've Leicester City away. Now, when you look at those first 6, do you think you can maybe get some points on the board there?
It's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? Obviously, the start of the season, you don't know how teams are going to come out, how they're going to perform. I mean, look at us last season. Last season, I think that our first 7 games, we had 2 points, something like that, which was awful. I mean, it's probably decent on the back of how many injuries we had. You know, our back four was makeshift. We had Jimmy Dunn, we had Kevin Long instead of Ben Mee and Tarkowski. We had, I think it was Peacock Farrell in goal instead of Nick Pope and stuff like that. It was so difficult because you've got a lot of massive hitters that you're missing.
Yeah.
So depending on how we go, the players we bring in, I don't know. Again, the Brighton game's interesting. It's the first game of the season. You're on home soil. Fans could be back in a full capacity. If that doesn't get you 3 points, I don't know what does. Away at Anfield, again, we always seem to make a good account of ourselves. I mean, prior to the 1-0 penalty win, the game before, where I think we drew 1-1, Gudmundsson hit the bar in the dying minutes. We could have nicked that game 2-1. And I'm just thinking, the thing is, if Liverpool carry on with that same momentum they had from the back end of last season, then everybody's going to the slaughter from the start.
Yeah.
But again, you don't know what Liverpool you're going to get.
Yeah.
It is tough. It is tough. I'd be happy with, out of all them results, a solid 6 points.
6 points. And obviously, the next game after us is Leeds United. Now, that was one game where you'll look back on it, and that was not a good performance. I mean, 4-0 flattered Leeds on that day.
Yeah. As I say, when I said about the 6 points, I'm speaking about the collective 7 that you're mentioning, or 6. Not just those first 2. I don't think Brighton and Liverpool are in the bag, just for people watching. But yeah, the Leeds game, the game at Ellen Road last season was harsh. The penalty decision that they got was really harsh. We should have had a penalty because the keeper came out with his knee, hit Ben Mee in the back, knocked him to the ground, and then on the follow up from that, Ashley Barnes scored, but the referee ruled it out, didn't give us a penalty, and give them a free kick. So I was like, right, okay. So it was completely strange. So we got done over there. But when we came to that Leeds game, we'd already beat Fulham. We'd got a 4-0 win at Wolves. As soon as we beat Fulham, to be fair, that rate, we were safe anyway. So heads were on the beach. The season was over. It was done. We're safe. 17th sounds worse than what it was because it was just those last 3 games that we lost, to you guys, to Leeds and Sheffield United, because we'd already done. We'd already switched off.
Yeah, you knew at that point that you were already safe. Your final 6 now, so you'll be hoping to be totally away from the relegation zone, is West Ham away, Wolves at home, Watford away, Aston Villa at home, Tottenham away, and then Newcastle at home to finish. So on paper, you would say it's not really a bad run in. How would you be feeling if you are in a relegation battle? Do you think you'd be able to survive?
Yeah, I think there's a lot harder fixtures we could have had in a row there, to be fair. We don't know how West Ham are going to fare now that they've got, something to play for, an extra competition. We've seen it ourselves, having one of the smallest squads in the Premier League and then achieving a Europa place, and you're playing Monday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Sunday, and it knackers you out, especially if you're travelling. That's what I mean. You need a massive squad. You need to have a good squad as well. You need rotation in numbers. So having that same squad going in and out, week in, week out, it'll drain you. And a team like West Ham, yes, they've got the quality, but when it matters, we don't know how they'll be. Again, same could be said for the likes of Watford and Wolves, and I just I think it's a nice comfortable running towards the end of the season. But yeah, I'll leave it at that for that one.
Yeah. Also, this is your sixth consecutive season in the Premier League, and it's your 140th as a football club as well. So, obviously, happy anniversary when obviously that comes as well. So, my next question is, what would be a successful season for Burnley?
I think as a fan, I'm always skeptical. I always sort of go for that Dash mantra, one game at a time, and if we finishing 17th, it's not a bad result. It's sort of, it's another season in the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, 13th, 14th, mid-table finish, being a solid mid-table side would be great for me, and then progress. There's a lot of fans out there who think this squad got us to the Europa League. We should be doing that time and time again. No,
Yeah.
we shouldn't. We was on a good run. We did similar to Leicester. Leicester won the league on the back of just beating teams 1-0 here and 1-0 there. They weren't drubbing teams 3-4-0 every week. We got to the Europa League by beating teams 1-0. And sort of our defence was solid. But we've seen last season, we focused more on sort of pushing from the off, having that forward thinking, and it's left us a bit more open at the back. And that's why towards the end of the season, we started dropping points. I'll always say 13th. It might be unlucky for some, but it's a nice, comfortable area that I think Burnley should be more than achieving. More than.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. You've made yourselves as an established, Premier League club. Yes, that season you were in the Europa League. Yes, it kind of derailed your form. You managed to, stay up that season as well. But I just think that not having European football, I think, will definitely be very, very key for Burnley. And we all know that the Europa League run. It did kind of, derail your Premier League form. So I think not having Europe is very, very good. Domestically, cups. How do you think you'll do in the cups?
Dash don't do cups. We all know that as fans. Dash doesn't do cups. We almost just get kicked out of them as soon as we're in them. It's ridiculous. Although to be fair, we always draw Man City and get drubbed. So, I mean, to be fair, recently we've been beat by a lot less. We got beat by Lincoln the season that they were on a mad run.
No.
It's just, I'd love nothing more than a cup run. Prior to Dash, we had the cup run under Owen Coyle, which we called capital punishment. Beating Fulham 1-0. Jay Rodriguez, to quote Marco Richards, burst onto the scene. Sort of came on in the dying minutes, rounded the keeper and scored. And, we beat Fulham. Then we got Chelsea, beat them on penalties. I mean, that was just a memory in itself. Then we had Arsenal, Kevin McDonald beating Arsenal 2-0. And then obviously we got Spurs and we got beat 4-1 or something like that. I think it were at White Hart Lane. But then we came back to Turf Moor. We got level. The only year where away goals and stuff didn't count.
Yeah.
Because if it did count, we would have gone through at the end, before extra time. So it was absolutely livid because obviously Pavlyuchenko killed us off with 2 minutes away from Wembley, and Pavlyuchenko killed us off. So yeah, that for me is the only cup run that stays with me. Every other cup run's sort of been a case of, all right, here comes Carlisle or something, then a nice game against Barnsley, and then it's Man City again at third round. Woo!
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, look, I think you're going. I think you're going to have a good season, and if you can get points at home, and then maybe pick up. You seem to like Old Trafford. I have noticed that. Burnley seem to like Old Trafford. You seem to like Anfield. If you can get points out of them, then it's going to be very, very interesting. I do have a couple of questions for you, and some people have asked this on Twitter. So, good friend of mine, Bob Mills, is asking spending. How many signings do Burnley need, and what positions?
Left winger, right winger, another right back.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a pacey striker, a good second option for goalkeeper. I know we're at the moment. I think we're not far off announcing Wayne Hennessy coming in. Since he was released, he was released from Palace, and I think we're bringing him in as second choice, which means Bailey Peacock-Farrell will probably be going out on loan.
Right.
So I think that's very good. I think he's decent enough for backup, especially at 34. Probably got a season or two left in him, so why not? Spend wise, as I said, last season we spent 750k on a third choice goalkeeper and a crappy midfielder from Brighton who's I'm hoping to see him shipped out because he's awful. But other than that, we spent 12 million on one player so far, and Burnley announced it as, here's our first signing, and everyone was like, first? What? So it was almost like, reading into it a bit, but yeah, Dyche says there's still money there to spend, so fingers crossed we can get the right caliber of player in. Hennessy coming in is good backup, but we need some more strength, strength throughout the pitch, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got a nice comical one from Pride of South London fan TV at Ali the Eagle. He's asked, do you think Sean Dyche is Prince Harry's dad?
Could you imagine? I mean, there's already enough drama surrounding Prince Harry's dad with blaming, Charles and Diana's mate. I forgot what they were called, James Hewitt. So there's already throw Dyche in. Could you imagine that? That'd be an odd Jerry Springer, wouldn't it? Dyche comes out as third choice. Christ.
Well, to be fair, people have said you look like Ed Sheeran.
I know. I've had Ed Sheeran. I've had Seth Rogen. The one I didn't believe, which I thought was utter bollocks, was somebody said I looked like Jude Law when I were about 14.
No, I don't see that.
I said no, not at all. I said I'm 14. I said, and I'm sort of above the law, for a 14-year-old. But yeah, that was about it. But yeah, I got it in. And funnily enough, in Liverpool, we'd gone back to the car after being at the docks and stuff one night. We just had a random drive, and yeah, there were a group of people come out of this pub and. All the next minute, oh look, it's Ed Sheeran. All I were doing was paying for a ticket, and I just thought, yeah, I'm his tribute act, Ed Sheeran. So I just walked back to the car.
Bless you. But yeah, obviously we'll be hoping Burnley have a very good season, and hopefully it will be not a relegation battle. And you'll be able to, be comfortable in mid-table. But Dan, thank you very, very much for coming on and giving your things into all things Burnley. Where can we find you in the socials?
So I'm all over Twitter. I'm like a Twitter whore at the minute. I can't come away from it. So yeah, Twitter's mostly where you'll find me, at Turf Moorhouse. Same again at Facebook and Instagram. And YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, because we know I'm there, because apparently, I might look like Ed Sheeran, but I've more got a face for radio. So people don't want to see the face, they can just listen to it instead.
Aye, absolutely. Yeah, go and subscribe to Turf Moorhouse TV. I still think that's a very unique name. I am very, very impressed how you came up with that as well. But yeah,
so
guys, Go and follow Dan at all his socials. A very, very lovely guy. A very, very good channel as well. Let's grow his channel, I should say, as well. And then Burnley fans, if you want to let us know how you guys think you will do, just let us know in the comment section down below. And also, we did mention Lincoln City as well. On behalf of the Dugout Football Channel, we wish Michael Appleton very well in his speedy recovery with testicular cancer as well. But thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for watching. And I'll be back with another episode very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.